I saw my father work endlessly. One of the memories I have growing up is my father taking me with him to collect aluminum cans to recycle just to put food on the table. He told me, Yesenia, work hard, go to school. Please don't ever give up, because I am living my American dream through you. I was able to go to college, to go to grad school, to go to law school. But unfortunately, I had to drop out of law school because I had so much debt that at this point, I don't even know how I'm going to pay off my college loans. La Villita is a low-income neighborhood with high crime, high dropout rates, that tragically, majority of the young Latinos in my neighborhood are dropping out of school and ending up in prison. Majority of these young Latinos felt forgotten. When Bernie indicated that he was going to run, for a moment there, I felt like I got my voice back. The young Latinos in my neighborhood felt that they got their voice back. That what we did for Bernie, because what he was giving back to us was we organized for him back home. We opened up our own headquarters. We knocked on thousands of doors, and we increased the voter turnout by 65%. Got together and knocked on doors. That guess what they did? They knocked on over 2,000 doors. And this weekend, we are getting prepared to knock on more than 2,000 doors for Bernie. You have 2 volunteer offices, one at 33 West Thousand Oaks that operates from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day. And you have one here in Ventura that operates during the weekends from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. at 71 East Santa Clara Street. We ask you to come and knock on doors for us, for Bernie, for you. Bernie could have stood with the 1%, but he's standing here with us, with the 91%. Bernie's fighting for us. He's fighting for me. So let's fight for Bernie. After this rally, join us at 432 North Ventura Avenue to knock on doors. We're going to provide you with food and beverages. There's no excuse for anyone who's here not to attend and knock on doors for Bernie. Let's tell everyone that Ventura is not for sale. That we will win Ventura. We will win CD26. And we will win California. Now, let's put our hands together for the director of CAUSE, the former mayor and councilwoman of Hueneme, Marisela Morales.
Millions of them, like the one that Yesenia just shared. There are so many more throughout the country. We need to do our part. But what's at stake? The environment. Climate change is real. We stand here on what was Chumash sacred land. And unless we are Chumash, we are all immigrants here. We are here because we believe, as Chief Seattle once said, the earth is not here for us. We are here for the earth. Big agribusiness, what used to be agriculture, big agribusiness is harming our soil. Pesticides are putting pregnant farm worker women at risk. Our school students in schools, we are here because we want a sustainable future. We want to grow food in a safe way. What else is at stake? 10 years ago, BHP Billiton tried to build an offshore LNG terminal. We stopped them. It was all of us. It was that sea of change that stopped BHP Billiton, the largest mining company in the world. So
when we talk about equitable wages, I know that every man here will stand with the women in opposition to the fact that today women are making 79 cents on the dollar compared to men. Today we're going to be asking him why he thinks that in a nation in which our diversity is our strength, why he thinks it is appropriate to be insulting Mexicans and Latinos, why he thinks it's appropriate to be insulting Muslims and women, why he thinks it's appropriate to be insulting veterans like John McCain. And maybe he could tell us why he was one of the leaders of the so-called birther movement designed to try to delegitimize the presidency of the first African-American president we have ever had. So I thank Mr. or establishment economics. What the American people understand is that we have got to bring forth a political revolution. We have got to redefine what politics means in America. We need people from coast to coast standing up, fighting back, and demanding a government that represents all of us, not just the 1%. It is caused by human activity, and as the people of California already know, it is causing devastating problems in our country and around the world. And what the scientists also tell us, if we do not get our more acidification of the ocean, more rising sea levels, we have a moral obligation as custodians of this planet. That is what we are. This is our planet. We are custodians of it. We must leave this planet. We must leave this planet in a way that is healthy and habitable to our children and future generations. There is the truth that in our great nation today, we have a corrupt campaign finance system which is undermining American democracy. What democracy is supposed to be about, as everyone here knows, is one person, one vote. You gotta vote, and you gotta vote, and you gotta vote. Democracy is not supposed to be about billionaires and super PACs buying elections. If we get elected, and I'm increasingly confident that we will, we are going to overturn this disastrous Supreme Court ruling on Citizens United healthcare system. The Affordable Care Act has done some good things, but it has not done enough. So let me be very honest with you and tell you what I have said many times, and it gets me criticized many times, but I'll say it again. And that is, in my view, healthcare is a right of all people, not a privilege. We have a rigged economy. And what a rigged economy is that for 30 years, the middle class of this country has been shrinking, and almost all new income and wealth today is going to the top 1%. What a rigged economy is about is the top 1/10 of 1%, not 1%, 1/10 of 1% owning almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. We're human beings, we want dignity, we're going to form trade unions and negotiate fair contracts. Will not define us, we will define ourselves. And women and their male allies stood up. Half of our people. A rigged economy is when one family, the Walton family of Walmart, owns more wealth than the bottom 42% of the American people. Anybody here work at a Walmart's? Okay, we got a few. And here is what's interesting about Walmart. Walmart, owned by the wealthiest family in America, pays wages that are so low that many of the people who work there have got to go on food stamps and Medicaid. Who pays for those food stamps and Medicaid? That's right. Working families of this country pay higher taxes in order to subsidize the wages paid by the wealthiest family in America. That is absurd. 3 years ago, workers in the fast food industry, in McDonald's, in Burger King, in Wendy's, they went out on strike. And they stood up and they told America they cannot make it on starvation wages. They need $15 an hour. And one of the reasons that we have so many people in jail is that across this country, in inner cities, in African American and Latino neighborhoods, in rural areas, we have youth unemployment rates of 30, 40, 50%. Kids get out of high school, they're there, and I've worked with police officers all over this country. And the overwhelming majority of police officers are honest, hardworking, and have a very difficult job to do. But, like any other public official, when a police officer breaks the law, that officer must be held accountable. We have got to demilitarize local police departments. I do not want local police departments to be looking like occupying armies intimidating the people in their community. so that the use of lethal force, shooting somebody, is the last response, not the first response. We have got to rethink the so-called war on drugs. Because studies indicate that blacks and whites do marijuana at about equal rates. Well, I don't know if I would cheer for that, but it's a fact. But here's what it also turns out. Blacks are 4 times more likely than whites to be arrested for doing marijuana. So what do? This is what I think we do. Number one, we understand that today the federal Controlled Substance Act lists marijuana as a Schedule I drug, the highest level. Possession of marijuana should not be a federal crime, but as all of you know, the decision to legalize marijuana is a state issue, not a federal issue. 4 states in this country, plus Washington, D.C., have voted to legalize marijuana.